Welcome to G3, Games, Gadgets, and Guests, a monthly podcast by 702 Communications. I'm your host, Brian Cromit. On today's episode, well, we've got some video going, so this is a new and exciting thing. Hopefully you guys will check that out as well. But on today's show, we're going to talk about our last meetup recap. We're going to have Lloyd Hoffarth from Anytime Fun here in town. He's got a cool gaming trailer that you can rent for your event, so we'll talk to him. And Until Dawn, you may have heard of it. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that there's a lot of cool things about it, and there are some things that make me a little bit unhappy about it. But we'll talk about all that stuff and hopefully have a little bit of video interaction here that you guys can all appreciate as well. So let's get right in and talk about our meetup from a couple weeks ago. We had our last gaming meetup, 702's meetup, on August 25th at the Prairie Den, and the Prairie Den was a great space. Thanks to Annie and everybody over there for having us. It really worked out really well for us. We had Jake Kohl in as our guest, and he talked about his StarCraft League that he's going to be starting up again here pretty soon. And then he showed us StarCraft as a demo, because there's some of us, myself probably primarily, that hadn't seen or played StarCraft since the 90s when it first came out, and it's a little bit different now. It's quite a bit different now. It's still, that strategy-based thing, so if you ever played it, ever liked it, check it out again, and check out Jake's League and stuff, and if you want an excuse to get into StarCraft, he's got one for you. So you can find links to him and his events and his league on my Facebook page and on all my social media. We'll try to give some shout outs to him as we get some more stuff going for him. But Jake's also got this big gaming event coming up that I wanted to just mention. We're going to have a lot more information about that in the coming weeks. But it sounds like it started out as a good idea at the Prairie Den to have this just a gaming event like we've all been talking about. That's what we really want, right? We as gamers need an excuse to get together, and so Jake is putting one together, and it sounds like it's starting to blow up. We've got 702 as a major sponsor. He's got some more sponsors on board, and it's going to be at the Prairie Den. It sounds like we're pretty solid on the date of October 24th, which is a Saturday, and Iron Boots is involved, and Jake's involved, and we've got more and more people interested, and so there will be tournaments, there'll be Mario Kart and the Iron Boots guys stuff, and there should be some StarCraft guys, and we're going to be doing some console type stuff. So really, it's just a time for everybody to come and check out stuff that they haven't seen before. Maybe do a little bit of game networking, and it should be a really good event. But we'll keep pushing information out to you on all our social media when we get it. But pencil it in, October 24th at the Prairie Den, downtown Fargo.
Imagine a guy sitting in his darkened room. He's wearing a headset and microphone. His hands work feverishly in the darkness, lit only by the light of his computer screen. It's been hours since he's eaten, days since he's seen the light of day. He is a gamer. He's obsessed, and he requires a connection that is lightning fast and stable enough for him to fend off his attackers. Now, if we can keep this guy happy, think how happy we can make you and your business. 702 is IT. 702com.biz.
All right, well, we are back. My guest is here, Lloyd Hoffarth from Anytime Fun, and he's here today to talk about, well, specifically, I've known Lloyd actually for a little while because our kids went to Cub Scouts together, and now Lloyd lives in Kindred, which is where I graduated high school. So even more recently, Lloyd approached me because we've been doing this gaming promotion, as you all know, and he actually has a pretty cool gaming trailer. So Lloyd, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And tell us a little bit about Anytime Fun and specifically about that gaming trailer.
Okay, Anytime Fun has been around probably roughly about 2 years now. Started out as a small inflatable games company, archery tag, kind of looking to target kids that are 8 years old and up.
Sure.
There's plenty of inflatable game companies in town that target 8 years and down crowd, so I thought I'd be to diversify a little bit and go after a different target market. So
Sure.
Started out with archery tag, which is kind of a blend of paintball, dodgeball, using archery skills, and that's a lot of fun. But primarily that's a summertime sport, as you all know. Same with inflatable games. We're very seasonal here. But what I've done now is over the past winter, I built a 25-foot trailer, insulated trailer, with 4 55-inch high-def TVs, Xbox consoles, Wii consoles, luxury seating, heated and air-conditioned, and turned that into basically a tailgating rig on steroids.
It sounds like a gamer's dream, honestly. Do you have pictures of that up on your Facebook page here?
I do have some.
That was not a 702 plug on purpose here. I hit the wrong button. Sorry. So I'm just going to pull this up in the background here. So the trailer here, there it is. And you mentioned it's heated and air conditioned, so this is a year-round sort of thing.
That is
or maybe
correct.
You didn't mention it. You mentioned it to me earlier. Heated and air conditioned. So whether you want to do something in the summer or you want to do something in the winter, you can accommodate that. Let me pull. Here you go. So here's an actual picture inside the trailer. And how many kids do you generally get in there? That looks like a whole bunch.
Well, actual players-wise, we can do 4 players per TV. So that'll be 16 kids, but I've had on some of the more hotter events, local days being one of them. Actually, I counted 26 kids in the trailer at one time. They were soaking up the AC inside.
I bet. Do you have a no food and drink policy in there?
I do, actually. So right now anyway, but yeah.
I think that's probably a good way to go. Well, that looks like a really cool setup there. Oh, you've got different colored LEDs too?
Yep, different mood lighting setup in there, and it's just like I said, it's heated, air conditioned, so it's quite comfortable in there. Get a lot of oohs and ahs when people coming by and wanting come and take a look inside, and then the kids. I mean, the best part about it is when the kids are playing. Sitting right next to all the banter that goes on between the kids, usually they're on the internet talking to their buddies and bantering, from each of their bedrooms at home, but getting them kind of next to sitting side by side with each other. It's almost, especially watching Matt doing when they're playing Madden. There might be 4 other kids that are watching them play, and they jump up and they're high fiving when they do touchdowns and interceptions. So it's a lot of fun to sit and watch. It can get kind of loud in there at times,
I'm
but
sure.
But it's a really good time.
So you touched on Madden. So how do the games work? Do you have a number of titles that you have for each console that everybody could play together, or do people bring their own games when they come, or talk about that? How does that work?
It's a good question. I have a library of games that I have of all different age ratings, and then before I do a party, I will typically ask a parent what they want, in terms of a rating wise. If they want to go with the Call of Duties, I certainly will let them. I can do that. Otherwise, if they want to stay below that, if the age rating is a little down, and then I get the whole array of just sports type games. And then on the Wii U, I also have various Mario Brother games and anything. The goal is to try to get anything that I can get 4 people on console at a time. That's kind of my criteria, at least from a standpoint of picking my games. But so that's from there, and then I go everywhere from every game to mature games as well. So
because there is a market for that. You mentioned Call of Duty, and there's a lot of good titles out there that maybe a bit violent for the younger kids, but I mean at the same time, it's what all the kids are talking about anyway.
That is what they're talking about.
They don't talk about Minecraft; they talk about Call of Duty, and sometimes in the same sentence. So.
You're right. I mean, and it's what I find fascinating is there's a group of kids that haven't played the Wii U, but I have the controller set up and they just grab and how quickly they can pick things up now is really amazing, and they jump into it and start playing like it. They've been playing on it for years.
So what's next for you with Anytime Fun in the trailer? You got plans to upgrade? Or are we looking at Xbox Ones and PS4s pretty soon? Or are you expanding the fleet? Or
well, the fleet would be the next logical step for me. Probably maybe try to get one up in Grand Forks. In terms of being able to cover that market well. The setup is really, really interesting. I mean, I literally pull up next to a curbside right in front of your house, start the generator up, turn the TVs on, and everybody's playing, having a good time. And when it's time to leave, that's just as simple as reversing that process. So the best part from a parent standpoint is when you're throwing a party for your kid, is they're not in the house. They're all out in the trailer, and 13 sweaty boys can generate a lot of heat and
a lot of mess.
It's all and a lot of mess. So they take care of it there. And in terms of upgrading equipment wise, right now with the PS4s and Xbox Ones, they made a leap towards online gaming more than they have the couch play. So until they can kind of start going to that route, I've heard some inklings that people are upset with not being able to do as much couch play with those type of systems anymore. Whether they change that, I don't know. I think there's a lot of money being made on the online memberships.
I'll just throw in my own 2 cents. I mean, there's still a lot of good games out there for the 360. I mean, I did upgrade for the PS4, but there's a lot of good stuff out there for the 360. I've never played the Wii U, but there again, I know there's a lot of people that do, and so I think you've definitely got a lot to offer there, with the consoles, with the systems you have, and with just those game libraries. I think that's great. So how do people go about setting up a rental?
Well, basically, you can book online on the website, anytimefun.guru, and you can go ahead and you can book online. That's one way, or you can certainly call me at 701-541-5762, and you can book. I can certainly handle that reservation over the phone as well. Reservations are, basically a first come, first served on a 2-hour block. And it's the same with my archery tag or any of my other games. You certainly can call, and I should have most of them up on my website right now, and take a look. And you can, like I said, you can reserve online, or you can give me a call. And
there is still time yet this year that if people want to do archery tag or something like that, you can still do archery tag events. You don't just have to book the sit down play video games. You can still get your kids out and running around and stuff like that, right?
That's right. Yep. Yeah. This fall has generally been pretty good for actually busier in the fall than I am in the summer with the archery tag. Kids are back to school, and you get those parties, set up, and they use. It's a good 2 hours of running around and generating a lot of sweat and exercise.
All right, so you've mentioned a couple times here, but we haven't really talked about the archery tag. Just brought it up here. So archery tag, is that like a Nerf thing, or how does that exactly work?
Okay, archery tag is basically it's a live action combat sport. What you do is you're using a bow and an arrow, but you're using the rules of dodgeball and paintball. And the idea behind it is, that you're using a standard bow, but what you'll do is the arrow is specifically designed with a soft foam tip on the end, so it still functions the same way, but if you get hit, you got hit, and you don't feel it. You're not going to carry the welts around with you like you would with a standard paintball marker that hits you. Okay,
but you do. We're just looking at the video here on your website. Do you supply some of those like cones to hide behind too?
Yep, I supply everything. Basically, I come out and set up either indoors or outdoors, and set up all the equipment, all the bows and the mask. I got everything set there, and it's fully customizable to fit any size yard or park or whatever size requirements that we're.
So you don't need to have a big yard as long as you got a park nearby or a park you're willing to travel to.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. And I would think that this too has got to be a big thing, because I know from scouts the kids love archery, and I know that from video games kids love combat. So.
That's right. Yeah.
So I got to imagine that goes over pretty well, and it looks like you got some adults there too.
Yeah, I did a bachelor party probably a couple of weeks ago, and that was a lot of fun, and 40-year-old birthday parties, and they, when it comes with adults, there's a little bit of booze that's involved, and they're having a good time. But they still they sound like a bunch of kids at the end when I tell them it's time's up. Time to put it away, and they're like, oh, come on, 10 more minutes. So it's a lot of fun, and they sweat. I mean, it's just it's a game that they definitely exercise because you're using all their heightened muscles. It doesn't hurt, but at the same time, you're running around, but yet your senses are all trying to be on edge. So
totally get that. I've done some airsoft myself, and I enjoy airsoft quite a bit. And it's the same basic concept.
Sure, it is.
You have your layout, and you try to work your strategy. How you're going to move your team and all that stuff. So no, I think that's great. I think that'd be a lot of fun as well. So
right.
So anyway, anytime fun. You've got the archery tag, and you've got the mobile trailer for rent. And again, they can get a hold of you on your website here, anytimefun.guru, or on your Facebook page here, facebook.com
Anytime Fun, yeah.
/anytime fun.
Yeah.
And I will link to that on the 702 page as well. And go ahead and get out there and check out Anytime Fun. Sounds like a good time. Thanks so much for coming today, Lloyd.
Thanks, Brian.
Good to see you.
All right, thanks.
All right, and for the game segment today, we're going to talk about Until Dawn. If you're a gamer, you've probably heard some stuff about this game already. It's a horror game, and it's interesting to me. It's kind of a choose-your-own-adventure sort of thing. They use what they call the butterfly effect. So you've got decisions to make as you're running through. Do you climb up the wall carefully, or do you run because you're scared out of your mind? And then that will change kind of the course of the game then. And then you will also find that during the course of the game, some of your choices will make people live or die. So that's interesting. And you also have a sometimes frustrating bit that there is no such thing as a checkpoint or save point in this game. Once something's happened, it's happened. So you either keep going or you start over at the very beginning of the game. So it's a very well put together game. There are some great names behind this, some recognizable names. It's got a huge cast, but the top three names and the top three actors that I recognize right off the bat are Hayden Panettiere is the lead female character. Of course, you know her from Nashville and Heroes and stuff like that. I was, although I'm not sure I really liked his character, I really like Peter Stormare in general. I really liked his work way back when he was in Prison Break several years ago. That was great, and he's been in a bunch of stuff, and including some video games since then. And it was also nice to see Brett Dalton. I don't know if you've been watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Brett is in that, so you'd recognize him from that. So they've got some good names for this, and they did a whole lot of good stuff with motion capture, and everybody looks like they really look. So that was good. When we look at what the internet thinks about this, you're getting 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. So the Wikipedia here tells me that Game Rankings here gives it an 80%. Metacritic gives it 80% as well. So that's a B. I guess I agree with that. I like I say, the game, it's pretty, and we're going to look at it here just a little bit in a second. It really tries to be a horror game, it's it's rated M for blood and gore, intense violence, sexual themes, and strong language, and it has all of those things. And it's one of those games where it looks a lot like a movie. It tries to play a lot like a movie, but then the gameplay gets in the way sometimes, as far as I'm concerned. And I get that it's a game, and if you don't have to suddenly press a button to make something happen, then it's not really a game. But as your character is running away from the monster or the murderer or whatever, and suddenly you have to press triangle, that's manufactured to me. Okay, so that takes me out of the game a little bit. But there are other things in the game too. It uses PlayStation's motion controller a little bit. So there are parts of the game where you need to hold absolutely still, and if you don't hold absolutely still, like hold that controller absolutely still, the monster or whatever is going to know that you're there. It's going to hear you or whatever. And so stuff like that keeps me in the game, because that's legit as far as I'm concerned. If you're running along and then all of a sudden you need to freeze, I can hold the controller and I can freeze. More so than you're going to fall down if you don't press triangle and your head's going to explode. So like I say, it's a cool game. It's interesting. I've done okay with it so far. I'm not exactly sure even how far through I am. Somewhere around 30 to 50% of the way through, I would think. And so far, I've only lost one major character because I didn't press the right button at the right time. So it's interesting. Like I say, I'm interested to see the rest of the story, even if some of the gameplay is frustrating. But I would definitely give it a shot if you're a fan of horror games at all. It's well put together. Like I say, it's worth a look. If you've got a GameFly subscription or something like that, put it in your queue. If you wanna pick it up and give it a shot. So, Until Dawn, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give it right around that 7, 8, or if we're on a 5-star scale, I'll give it a solid 3.5. So, Until Dawn. We're going to look at it just a little bit here then on video. We've got it queued up here on the screen. And let me unmute it here so we can get just a little bit of sound. It's really dialogue heavy, as you're going to see here. I'm not exactly sure what scene we're opening up on, because it pauses right where you were, and then it'll pick back up. So we'll just hit resume here and see what happens. Oh, I will also caution, there's use of language.
He didn't make it? No.
So at this point in the game, we've, and the spoilers, I'm going to give a spoiler alert here. So if you don't want to hear anything about the storyline here, you should just thank me for my review and shut it off now and pick me up later or next time or whatever. But we are at the point now where we've discovered that some of the bad guys are Wendigos, so there are monsters in the game, and a creepy-looking guy that happened upon our party here has just died at the hands of the Wendigos. The characters are now all in this safe room, and they're debating what to do next.
Josh.
It's dirty little tricks.
Great.
If that fucking thing got a hold of Josh, then we should have a lot.
I don't know, Mike. It's possible. What's possible?
But yeah, you can see that the animations are good, and the facial expressions are good.
I saw some horrible stuff down there. I think it's
The textures are great.
And huh. F. Fine.
Fuck it. I'm gonna get that key right from that thing's goddamn bedroom, and then I'm gonna get us all the hell out of here.
There will probably be some action
So that
for me to do something here in a minute.
It's like,
But that's a lot of this game too. Is a lot of this game is just listening and catching up on the story, and eventually you're going to have to make a decision
It's horrible.
you are?
I found these plans.
or randomly press triangle.
The miners keep working anyway.
Michael, I'd like to maybe focus on how we're gonna get the fuck out of here, please.
I'm just saying, it's weird how much crazy shit's going on up here.
What's weird is that there's a tunnel leading from the lodge to the sanatorium, see?
That's how I got back here.
I saw this when I was down there. That's where it lives. What is... Huh? What is that? Ash. Oh my god. It's nothing. It bit me and bit you. What bit you?
Uh-oh. So yeah, in a previous scene, that character Emily was trying to get away out of the mines from these Wendigos. And we learned that Wendigos can become Wendigos by That's like zombies, so if you get bitten or scratched or something, so she might be in trouble at this point, which is fine because she's the character I like least right now. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a decision to make here shortly, I believe.
What, Mike?
You gotta go.
Are you kidding me?
You're putting us all in danger.
Like hell I am.
Emily, you can't stay here.
Mike, just cool your head, okay? We don't know if it works like that. Maybe it's just a bite.
I've seen what these fuckers can do, and I don't want to see it again.
What is this? Guys, what are you doing?
Yours right here. I am letting you do this voluntarily.
Oh no, you're just making yourself feel better about sending me to my death since you know there's a Wendigo out there ready to rip me to pieces like it did with... Okay, oh my god, you just go! Go, get out of here! Whoa, okay, whoa, Mike?
Okay. So now I'm going to shoot my ex-girlfriend. Or not shoot. I'm seeing a decision here.
It is not safe as long as you're in it. Not for us.
Don't do that!
So I hate her. Like in the game, I hate her. But I'm going to choose not to shoot her. And see up in the corner there, I just changed the course of the game. Butterfly effect status update. So it could have gone two ways there. I could have killed her or not killed her, and now the whole story has changed, and I can't go back. I can't redo that decision. So I guess we'll find out later if that was the right decision or not.
Weird. You guys know what to do.
Yeah.
No one leave. Okay? It's not safe out there. I'll be back soon.
Oh, don't leave the gun. I wouldn't leave the gun. Don't. Why? Oh. We're going to call that the dumb horror movie move right there.
Thought he was gonna help us. With the flamethrower dude? Now we don't have a chance. No, but it just means we gotta be tough. We gotta do this on our own. I don't know if I can.
So that was the whole scene. Now we're kicking to a new scene here. Just found another clue. So here's they incorporate a lot of these motion and touch. Oh, I didn't do it in time. So I can go ahead and swipe across the control pad and turn the pages in this journal. Oh, here we have the can't see stillness. If you can keep totally still, you can stay out of their clutches. The bite is harmless, huh? Alright, so if Emily was bitten, we find out I just made the right decision by not shooting her because the bite is harmless. Vindication.
Oh no. What is it? What does it say?
Well, wait, did she say she got scratched?
It says that the bites, if it bites you, it's not infectious. It doesn't do anything. I'm sorry, what did you say? It says she'll be okay. It says what? You're gonna be fine. Fine? Michael almost shot me, is that fine? Didn't shoot you. And this bitch almost let him. That's not fair, she was scared. I'm the one who's scared. I'm sorry, Emily, I didn't know what was going to happen. There's no excuse, there's no...
So I could have made the selfish choice and concealed that I, as this character had just overreacted, but I didn't. I chose the road to let her know that she was going to be okay.
Shit. We've got to get to Mike. Now.
Don't leave without the gun. Sam. M. Nobody? Somebody. Grab the gun! Oh. So anyway.
Oh, Joshua. You should have listened to me.
And then every once in a while in the game, you're going to have these little cutscenes that go to Peter Stormare's character here, which is the psychiatrist.
Lead to someone's death or passively allowing a tragedy to occur.
And during these scenes, he's going to ask you a series of questions about what you're more afraid of. And then, depending on what you answer, those elements are going to get put into the game.
Remember last year? Huh? How you left your poor sisters to die?
Spoilers again.
Paralyzed by your own self-centered fear, while a real threat was closing in. Now it's all about you, John. It's always all about you.
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and pause that out here. I think that gives you a little bit of a taste of what Until Dawn looks like, what the gameplay is like. And like I say, I'm interested in the story, I'm interested in the characters, and I'll keep playing through to the end. And my kids have been looking for it on YouTube to find out what I could have done differently and how that would have changed the story, but I've insisted that... they don't tell me. I've maybe actually hollered spoilers at them and run away. So, Until Dawn, interesting. Go ahead, like I say, pick it up if you want to give it a shot. It's been an interesting play. All right, that's it. Well, it's been an exciting sixth podcast with the addition of video. We've enjoyed that. It was nice to talk about the meetup, and again, we're going to get more information about Jake and Jake and Evan's gaming event coming up on the 24th, and they're going to be coming up on upcoming podcasts. So keep an eye out for more information on that on my social media, and look forward to talking to them soon. Also, thanks to Lloyd from Anytime Fun coming by and talking about that gaming trailer and that archery tag. That sounds like a good time. And again, Until Dawn, good game. Check it out on the PS4. And that's about it. So thanks again to everyone for listening. And if you were watching for the first time, thanks for watching. Again, my name is Brian Cromit, and until we get together again next time, game on.